السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسر مركز عكور للترجمة والتدريب بث هذه الحلقة من الترجمة العسكرية، وذلك لتوضيح الصورة لمن هم مهتمون بهذا النوع من الترجمة. وطبعا احنا يعني بالترجمة العسكرية هو مجال مثل باقي المجالات، ولكنه technical more than usual. معكم هذا المساء الأستاذ عمر الخطيب، باحث ومترجم، أعمل في الترجمة العسكرية منذ ما يقارب 6 سنوات. طبعا الترجمة العسكرية تتميز بأنها هناك لدينا مؤتمرات ولدينا أيضا عمل ميداني. الآن رايحين نبدأ بالترجمة العسكرية أو الترجمة بشكل عام. خلينا نشوف يعني إذا أنا تخبرت أو تبلغت اليوم إنه عندي بكرة مثلا عندي مؤتمر يخص الترجمة. If I am informed that I have a conference for tomorrow, then I have to prepare myself. How to prepare myself? I have to ask the client. About the subject or the topic. In what is the topic of the conference? Is it going to be, well, in our case it will be military, but we need to know that the military translation and interpretation has more than one field. We have the tactical field, we have the law enforcement field, and we have the strategic field. Anyway, you have to ask the client about the subject or the topic that you are going to do the interpretation and translation, and then you need to collect the related terms. Now, if I am on the strategic level, for example, it has significant terms that you need to know before going to the conference on the next day. Then you have to review the collected data, which means that what you collected through the internet, the terms, the data, and everything, you have to revise it, and you have to review what you have collected. And you have to put all these data on a separate sheet so that it can be a good reference for you on the next day. And the last but not the least point is to sleep well. Why to sleep well? Because you need concentration. On the next day, if you are in the conference and you are not well concentrated, you will lose the speaker and you will lose the interpretation. You will not be able to gather the information and the ideas that are needed. I've collected some of the points that are very important for the interpreter. You have to have a high exposure, which means that if you are translating for military, then you need to know to have a good exposure of military terms. Another thing is that especially for the consecutive interpreters, you need to have a good charisma, which means that you have to be convincing, you have to be well concentrated, you have to keep eye contact, and you have to be elegant. And I would like to tell you that one of our professors said once upon a time that if you are not smart, then don't try to be a translator. I'm sorry to say that, but this is very important, to be elegant and to be well dressed, because your dress will tell the guys who you are. And then you have to be well confident while translating the idea of the speaker. You have to speak with the correct grammar, establish a correct structure, and you have to be motivated. If you are not motivated, we know that the English proverb says, if you don't like what you are doing, you will not do it well. And at the end of the day, you will find yourself using the body language too. And body language, which means that the eye contact, the signs, and your movement in the whole will tell the audience that you are understanding what you are saying or not. And the thing is that you have to be committed to the speaker or to the text. Don't add from your experience, don't add anything. يعني أنا ما بهمني إني أضيف خبرتي، بهمني شو حكى المتحدث. هذا لازم أكون أنا يعني كل الولاء تبعي للنص اللي بيقوله المتحدث، وبالتالي هو له هدف أكيد من اللي بيحكيه، وإلا بقول لك خلص اشرح لهم عن كذا كذا. ما فيش داعي إنه يعطيك يعني يعطيك certain words and certain ideas. لا، إحنا بنظل موالين للنص ولا نتصرف لا يمين ولا شمال. I have to raise some common mistakes that the translators and interpreters do while doing the either simultaneous or consecutive interpretation. Sometimes you get absent-minded, which means that you are not concentrated. You lose the concentration, and this means that you are not going to give the right and the correct idea. And one of the common mistakes is that interpretation in the third person pronoun. This means that أنا قاعد بترجم والمتحدث بيحكي فباجي بحكي للجمهور هو بيحكي إنه كذا كذا. No. Take his character. Be in his position. يعني خذ شخصيته، قمص شخصية المتحدث. هاي مهمة جدا، وأنا يعني شاهدت فيديوهات كثير بتحكي عن الموضوع هذا. أيضا يعني إنك تيجي تعطي اقتراحاتك. You are a translator. You are transmitting from source language to target language. This means that you need not to give any kind of suggestions. Don't give any suggestion. And don't be very complicated in transferring the data. يعني لا تقعدش توصف لي بالشغله 10 دقائق وبعدين تقول لهم هاي الشغله بحكي عنها هيك. لا، خلص اللي بحكي قال مباشره انه هاي الكراسي اللي قدامك ملونه بالالوان اخضر واحمر وازرق. خلص فيش داعي تقول هاي الكراسي المحطوطه قدامنا واللي احنا قاعدين عليها واللي موجوده بالقاعه. خلاص روح يعني hit the point, be direct to the point, and do never be nervous. How to be nervous? إذا تحكي بأسلوب هادي المتحدث لازم تكون هادي. إذا تحكي بأسلوب يعني شوي في تنشن خليك شوي في تنشن. أما لا تكون عصبي، تبين إنك أنت عصبي، لأن اللي قدامك إحنا بالترجمة العسكرية إلنا بروتوكولات خاصة، وبالتالي لازم نكون يعني very smooth with our audience. أيضا حتى وقفتك لما تكون أنت واقف consecutive بالترجم تتابعي لازم تقف مكان أول شيء بعيد عن المتحدث، اثنين مشاهد من كل الجمهور وبطريقة يكون في بينك وبينهم اتصال. يعني مش والله واقف لي ورا شيء متخبي ورا شيء وقاعد تحكي، لا ما بزبط. أو إنك يعني واقف بحد اللي بيحكي ومضايق حركته، لا خليه ياخذ راحته عشان أنت كمان تاخذ راحتك والجمهور يستوعب شو اللي أنت بتحكيه. يعني أنا هيك بكون أعطيت شوي مقدمة بسيطة عن translation interpretation بشكل عام. And now I'll dig in deeper in the military translation. What is the military translation? Military translation is, as I said before, is a field of translation that has its own jargon, which means that it has its own terminology. And once you pick up the right term, then you have hit the point. Otherwise, you did not reach your target. I would like to tell you some of the difficulties that we encounter. Even the ex-military people, they encounter when translate from in the military translation. First of all is the style of writing. الآن لو طرحت عليكم بعض يعني لو سألتكم شو معنى كتاب عسكري، شو معنى مذكرة، شو معنى مثلا أمر مجزأ، شو معنى يعني هذه المعاني لها طريقة خاصة ونماذج خاصة بالكتابة. مش يعني زي أنا ما بكتب بجامعة أكاديمية ويعني ولا بكتب بمؤسسة مدنية. لا، العسكريين لهم نموذج خاص من الكتابة. أيضا one of the most common problems that we encounter in our translation in the military field is the acronyms. The acronyms, you will find that the maritime, for example, they have their own acronyms. The land forces that have their own acronyms, and air forces that have their own acronyms. Which means that you have to have a great and high exposure of terminology in order to cope with all these assets. Well, you need to know that in military we are not only interpreters, but we are linguists, which means that we can interfere in order to ask the speaker what he means by this term or that term. And let me give you one of the most common terms that is used in the military and has another meaning rather than the usual one. Let's say company. You know that company معناها شركة. But in military jargon, it has another meaning. It is a headquarter in a certain level. So, and sometimes you find the speaker is not, let's say, culturally or not oriented to interpretation, which means that he speaks fast, he speaks in a dialect, and you cannot understand what he is saying. So you have to have good ears in order to get this dialect. If you don't catch the speaker, you have to inform him. And if you find an acronym that is that you are not well informed, then you have to tell the speaker that I couldn't get the acronym. What does it stand for? These are some of the problems that you encounter in your interpretation. And the last but not the least issue that I want to raise here is that you might find yourself in the field walking maybe for more than 10 kilometers per day and translating at the same time, which means that you have to be physically fit, and at the same time you have to be linguistically fit. This was my presentation for the military translation, and I hope that you got some of the issues that I raised, and I hope to see you in the next lectures if we have further lectures. بس خليني يعني أعقب شوي. إحنا هون في مركز عقول الترجمة والتدريب نعقد دورات الترجمة العسكرية لمن لهم يعني باك جراوند في الترجمة ولمن لهم باك جراوند في الترجمة العسكرية، وبالتالي احنا بنرحب فيكم في هذا المركز. عندنا طبعا الدورة يعني مدتها تقريبا 24 ساعة تدريبية، تستغرق 10 أيام عمل أو 12 يوم عمل، وبالتالي راح يكون في ترجمة كتابية، ترجمة شفوية، وأيضا تمارين بحيث انه نكون على ثقه انه المترجم اللي بيطلع من عندنا قادر على انه يخوض هذا المجال وبنجاح باذن الله. كان معكم هذا المساء عمر الخطيب، مترجم وباحث ومترجم وطالب دكتوراه في الجامعه الاردنيه. شكرا.